this is Ginger from Stamping the Cape, and thanks for joining me today. I was in the process of mounting some of my clear mount stamps, and there are lots of different ways to do this, but I thought I'd show how I do it. Actually, there are instructions in the case when you get your clear mount stamps that show you how to do it, and I'm presuming this is how you do it. But this is how I do it, and I figured I'd show you my example. And then I also am going to show you how to use the Stamp-a-ma-jig, because I find that even though I try to be as careful as possible when mounting my blocks on the back or my labels on the back, they don't always match up exactly. So what I usually do is I will take a sentiment, and like for example, this is the one I'm going to mount for this set, and on your plastic there's a little cut groove. So what I do is I peel it off and leave that label on the sheet, and then very often, as you can see, many of these stamps, they're not square or exactly you know, a geometric shape other than maybe a round or an oval, but these have shapes in them. So what I do is I try to match up those shapes when I'm laying down my stamp. So I've peeled off the backing, and I'm just going to line it up with the outline that's on the sheet, and then pull it off. And usually it comes out pretty close, but for those indications where you might have a little wonkiness on your stamp, I'm going to show you how to use the Stamp-a-ma-jig to correct that issue. Okay, I've got my Stamp-a-ma-jig out. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually, the Stamp-a-ma-jig is a piece of plastic, and it has sort of this T-square element that will help you line up the stamp. And I wanted to mention too that a lot of people don't like to mount the labels on the back of their stamps. They don't think they stick as well. What I have found, this was a little trick that a demonstrator ages ago mentioned, and I find that it really works. I notice a difference in the winter time that my stamps, my clear mount stamps, don't stick as well. And they said if your blocks are cold and your stamp is cold, they don't, and that is exactly what happens. So in the summertime, I have no problem. They stick really well. In the winter, what I do is, if I'm going to use a block and a stamp, I'll put it in my pocket, or just hold them both separately between my hands to try to warm them up if my house is a little cool, and it really does help. And the other thing is, regarding the Stamp-a-ma-jig, there's a lot of tools out there that are good for lining up images. If you have multiple cards of the same thing that you're doing, they're really great, but they take a little longer to line up, I think. So for a one-shot deal, I like using the Stamp-a-ma-jig. So what you do is you take your plastic sheet and you line up the T-square so that that sheet is right in that corner, and you ink up your stamp, and you're going to bring your block right so that it's square with that T-square, and just slide straight down. No wobbling, no rocking. So now you've got your image set. So you come to your cardstock and you place the image where you want it to be, and this is a little bit of a forgiving image because it's got all this swirly stamping, but it is a little straight here, so you'd like to try to get it as straight as possible. So you place your plastic sheet in place, you take the T-square, and once again you're going to line it up. Oh, did I just move that? You're going to line it up with that plastic, not on top of it, but right on the edge of it. Then hold down your T-square and slide your plastic away. You can ink up your image again, lock that block right in there, and just go straight down, and you get a perfect stamped image every time. So I hope you find that helpful. Like I said, using your labels can tell you a little bit more about your stamps. rather than totally going blind, and the Stamp-a-ma-jig can help you line them up with ease. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.